Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and this is my weekly entertainment wrap-up for March 4th through 10th. I am currently on vacation in Florida, which is why this is a different background than normal, and I'm also a very sleepy introvert after being at Disney World for 4 days, so this is going to go up a little later than usual, and I'm sure you're all okay with that. This week I read 2 books, I watched 1 show, I watched 4 movies, and I listened to 1 book. First this week I finished Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shauna McGuire. This is the 3rd in the Wayward Children series. This story followed a few teens from Eleanor West's Home for Wayward Children who wanted to correct a mistake that would basically make their new friend not exist. And we got to revisit some of the characters and locations from previous books. We also learned the lay of a whole new world. These novellas are fun because you get a taste of a strange new place. And since it's not consistent logic between different worlds, anything goes. This series is entertaining and I kind of enjoy not knowing where it's going to go next. My next read this week was Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell. This is a wee little book that was published for World Book Day. Our protagonist Elena is sitting in line for the first showing of The Force Awakens about 4 days before it actually happens. She thought there would be tons of fans doing the same like with the original trilogies, but that's not how it plays out. This was short and sweet and I enjoyed it. Before I left for vacation, I got a text from my best friend saying that RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9 was now on Netflix, so that evening I watched episodes 1 through 6. This show is tricky for me because on the one hand I enjoy this type of entertainment and creative expression, and on the other hand I know that elements of the culture are transphobic. There runs this parallel of saying screw you to gender conformity, while at the same time adhering to rigid gendered standards. This show, like any other reality show, is produced to bring up certain issues. I'm glad we saw a queen come out as trans because that's not the normal narrative that we are fed about this culture. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 had some writing issues and a few because reasons moments, and was heavy-handed at times. It wasn't a waste of my viewing time, but it wasn't as strong as I wanted. I got the MCU blues out of my head by watching Thor Ragnarok on my way to Florida. In my opinion, this is the best of the Thor movies. The most enjoyable aspect for me was seeing the interactions between the different characters that we've seen throughout the MCU. Since I still had some time to kill on the plane, I also watched Murder on the Orient Express. This movie was worth it for his glorious mustache. Some small things were changed from the book and some of the small details were rushed. Mrs. Hubbard didn't mention her daughter every other sentence, which is just weird. That was part of the reason I enjoyed how Brana read her character in the movie tie-in version of the audiobook. Overall, it was beautifully shot and enjoyable, but lacked some of the details if you're familiar with the book. On Friday, Annie, Paige, Sarah, and I went to see A Wrinkle in Time. Because we figured seeing a Disney movie on a Disney property on the opening day was just too good of an opportunity to pass up while I was in Florida for the first time. We were an interesting mix in that this book was Annie's Harry Potter while growing up, Paige has never read it, Sarah's read part of it but not all of it, and then I read it as a kid and again a couple of years ago. Although it was beautifully shot, we felt like it had a couple of editing and pacing issues. We spent a lot of time on the lettuce dragon that didn't seem fruitful. Sarah wanted more of an explanation as to how Charles Wallace knew the misses. I loved all the casting and we were very excited to see a girl of color in this lead role. It was an enjoyable experience, but we all felt that we should come away loving it, and we didn't. This week I listened to An Unkindness of Ghosts by Rivers Solomon. I'm not going to lie, I picked this book up because I really liked the collective noun in the title. I also have a book on my holds list called An Unkindness of Magicians, for the same reason. This book takes place on a huge spaceship where people are separated in social class by the floors on which they live, and it is run by a monarchy. The ship has been in operation for hundreds of years, and that has somehow resulted in the upper decks, people who are fair-skinned, having privileges over people in the lower decks who are dark-skinned. The lower deckers work without wages and are beaten basically anytime the guards feel like it. This was an uncomfortable mixture of slavery but in space and characters with interesting interpersonal dynamics. It's hard to read futuristic books in which the author has decided not only to continue to devalue marginalized groups, but to regress into sexist, homophobic, and racist ways of thinking. There are aspects that make it worth a read, but a lot of it reads like tragedy porn. That's it for this week. If you've read, watched, or listened to any of these, let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you next time. Bye!